Alright, so, you just put down a mute jammer while a thermite was being opened right next to you. So it seems like you don't really care about the game or improving or just thinking, even for that matter. I mean, you are a but, I didn't expect you to not think as much as you did, or are not thinking rather. So yeah, you use your brain. I know you got one. It might be small, but use it, please. What is it doing, guys? 821 Mayo here, and in today's video we're going to be having ourselves another viewer VOD review video. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into the VOD.
Wait, where are they? Hey, he's outside.
He got injured from the garage door. Okay, so one thing that's happening here that I see a lot in my VOD reviews, especially on this map and with this wall, is that people always want to add extra steps for their attacks for no reason. If you guys are someone who is doing what is happening here, where you have the Mav, open the wall, and then, you get rid of the bandits or the kid or the mute off of the wall, you guys need to stop doing that because you're adding extra steps, making your attacking jobs much harder just by you adding more steps, which will lead to more errors or more things not happening that should be happening, like someone watching the garage door here or the Maverick getting nitroed through the hole that he made with his blowtorch. So instead of having the Mav just open the wall and try to nade through it, just have him make the wall soft and then have the Zofia open the wall. And then in the Ace can go garage breach or garage walls open those there. I mean, this is something that I see a lot happen where people just overcomplicate their attacks, hard breaching, whatever it is. They don't evaluate a situation before they go into it. They just kind of do the same thing over and over that they've already been doing for the past few seasons or weeks or days, whatever it is. Also, another thing here, so with you acing the wall now, which is good, you guys are opening the wall, you're hard breaching, doing your jobs, but whenever you ace the wall like you are there and then you leave the platform, what you're allowing the defenders to do is now have the upper advantage when you need to challenge the breach, since you're going to be on rappel and your positioning is going to be a lot more predictable. So when you're opening the wall there, you need to own the angle. This is also something else that I talk about a lot throughout my YouTube channel, is that you guys need to own your angles, make sure that you make the enemy feel like they have to fight you, not you fighting the enemy, if that makes sense. So when you're opening the wall here, you need to be there, you need to be ready to take gunfights, pre-aiming it, whatever it is. So that way, if a defender does peek you on the breach being open, you're ready for that gunfight instead of you getting back on rappel and then taking the gunfights that way, because they're already, most likely going to be pre-aiming where you're going to be, since they can see the rappel hook on the side of the building. But the overall thing that I want you guys to understand here is you guys need to own your angles when you are attacking or defending. Just overall, you guys need to own them so that way you are in the advantage of the gunfight or before the gunfight happens. Before we carry on with the video, I quickly want to mention that 50% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you guys have not hit that sub button already, I would really appreciate it. It also helps out with the YouTube algorithm. I also want to mention that I can coach you, so if you guys want a private coaching session or a private VOD review session, there's a link to my Patreon down below in the description, and yes, I do coach console players. And lastly, I also want to mention that I have a second channel. What you can find here is exclusive content like private coaching sessions. You can also find tier lists and any other content that is from my Twitch live stream. A link to that is also in the description.
Garage is clear. Can someone take garage? Actually, bottom garage might not. Bottom garage might not be clear.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of corrected yourself there, which would have been a huge mistake if a teammate did die. Make sure you're very specific with your calls, especially when it's a call like garage is clear, because it's such a vast room and area of the map that it could lead to, a friendly misinterpreting what you're saying or misinterpreting what you're seeing and what you're trying to convey through the call out. So make sure that you're being very specific with your call out and say rafters is clear, not garage, because when someone tells someone garage is clear or this room's clear, that usually means the entire room. They don't need to worry about anything besides the entrances and exits to said room. So you need to make sure you're very, very specific with a call out like that.
What am I dying?
From planting?
He's right.
No,
That is so dumb.
I'm dead to it.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake by you. So there's a couple things that went wrong here with this round that you did. So firstly, you're not saying, hey, let's try to go for plant. Secondly, you're not having any sort of lounge info or pressure there. And, if any of you guys know, it's very common for a defender to go downstairs and nitro default plant and pretty much kill you know, the Zofia and the Ace would die here from a nitro on default plant. And also, another huge thing that you're doing with your smoke canister is you're smoking off yourself, not the enemy. So what you need to do before you even smoke this area off or think about smoking is say, hey, I'm going to smoke top red, someone hold it. It's a 3v3 currently. It's going to be a 2v3 because you're going to be planting. So you have a teammate hold cash door and you have a teammate hold top red. That's all you need to do. You need to communicate that, make sure everyone's on the same page. That happens, you smoke top red, not the top red door. You either throw it through the drone hole that's outside here, or you bounce it off this wall from where you're standing into top red and it lands somewhere deeper than what it is. Because you want the defenders to be walking through into the angle that you're already going to be holding as the attacker. You don't want to, you know, have to kind of guess where they're going to be popping out of the smoke. You can just see them exactly where they're going to be coming out. So it's very important that you don't use smoke canisters this way. This is something that a lot of people don't really understand about kind of smokes and stuff like that, and maybe why people that come from CSGO kind of understand how smoke should be used a little bit more. You need to be smoking off the enemy, not yourself. And even if this smoke was used for the cross top red, you still could have played it more safe, smoked into the red hallway and then crossed, because either way the smoke's going to be covering the cross. But since you smoked it the way you did, it led to, you know, the bandit being able to walk through the smoke, Stewie 2KU, and the Zofia. So it seems like from the comms so far, like what I'm hearing is that you're at least in a 3 stack. I want to say this is a 4 stack, maybe a 5. But either way, when you're attacking kitchen dirt like this, you firstly need to establish what people are going to do. Because what's happening here is everyone is just trying to do their own thing. And this is another huge issue that I see with a lot of my VOD reviews is there's no basic communication going on. It's just, oh, I expect my teammate to do this, or I expect my teammate to do that, and then everyone's like, how do we lose the round? I don't get it. You know, it's common sense. At least I would hope it would be common sense, but it's clearly not. So you guys need to break down the basics of the round, where people are going to be looking, where drones are going to be, whatever it is. So that way, something like this doesn't happen. And then after the game, you sit there and you wonder why you're in gold 1 or whatever it is, like you're hard stuck gold 1. Like, you need to be able to evaluate a round or a situation or a game or whatever it is and have basic communication. It's not that difficult. So even having someone sit on chain rappel instead of, you know, having people walk down kitchen hallway, like this is something that's very basic that shouldn't be happening, but it is. This is what I mean by communication and also sending someone on chain rappel to hold this hallway, because that's such a basic thing that you can see through pretty much all the ranks. You just see it more commonly in higher elo because people know how to evaluate a situation and deal with an issue.
The stairs right now.
I'm dead, bro. I'm dead. Wait, hold your gun, you
Top stairs.
I'm also gonna let you know right now, this Mr. Davis.zb guy, stop playing with him. I'm just gonna give you a piece of advice. Stop playing with him. You can take that and run with it, or you cannot listen to me, and you're gonna realize that later on down the road when you evolve more as a player and an individual. But eventually, either you make the decision now and be conscious of it, or you make the decision for yourself later on down the road. But either way, just stop playing with him.
I'm so much better than this Ella, dude.
Yes, face checking the entire map. You're so much better.
Last is bar, last is bar.
Bar, church.
Bar.
Oh my god, dude, no way we throw that.
Come on, bro.
We could have actually won that if I just went for the plant and you held the... No. Like, there's no... I could have planted.
So what you're showing me there with like how you're evaluating that situation is you have a basic understanding of how to evaluate a situation. Now what I want you to do is use that every single round and for a lot more than just the end of the round in a situation, because all I'm seeing is just people raging in your Discord and people dying and not... They're using their dick to think, not their brain. Like, it's just like they're ego peaking everything and just thinking they're the best player in the game. Like, oh man, you gotta get on people's asses if you want to win, or whatever it is, and to be able to evaluate a situation while you're in the round instead of just thinking about it just like how you did there after the round's over and everyone dies and you know you lost the round, right? So you need to be able to do it while you're in the round and in multiple different situations in games. Alright, so you just put down a mute jammer while a thermite was being opened right next to you. So it seems like you don't really care about the game or improving or just thinking, even for that matter. I mean, you are, but you know, I didn't expect you to not think as much as you did, or are not thinking rather. So yeah, you use your brain. I know you got one. It might be small, but use it, please. All right, I'm gonna stop the VOD here, and I'll explain why. So I believe the third attacking round when they were attacking gym, master bedroom, there were some gamer words being said by his friends and even him himself. I can't remember the viewer. These VOD review videos aren't always just about getting better in game. It's also about just being a better person in general and what aspects of the game and real life with responsibility and stuff like that have in correlation with one another. It's not always just about the game. Like I've had a few VOD reviews in the past where it was much more than just the game itself. I touched on the mental aspect and kind of the emotions and stuff like that. So I understand now why you edited a Twitch VOD. And the reason I know it's a Twitch VOD is because I went to your Twitch live stream and I also tried to find your Instagram to send you a private message to never send me a VOD again and stop watching my videos or have any association with me, because I don't want someone like you who associates with immature like your friends to watch my videos and support me. I don't want that. And for anyone who is wanting to submit a VOD who is also in the same guidelines as this viewer here as well, yeah, don't even think of sending me a VOD either, because, but either way, the reason I am breaking this down here is because, again, it's not always just about the game itself. It's also just about becoming better as an individual. And I'm going to tell you, you need to mature the fuck up and be a man, because you're probably 16, 17, 15, around there. Think it's cool to, you know, say these words and associate with people who say these words. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a day and a time where you suffer repercussions for saying those things. And I'm not going to allow you being a kid or being underage to use that as an excuse, because it's not an excuse. You're still making the decision at the end of the day to even associate with people who act and talk like this. I can assume kind of what words you were saying. Again, you did edit out a Twitch VOD. You went out of your way to download the VOD, edit it with the words that you guys were saying, and then submit it to me. And I know you're pretty stupid for the way that you play, talk, and act, but I didn't think you were that stupid to send me a VOD like this. So the only piece of advice that I'm going to give you as a player and also as just a human in general is to be better. Be a man and wake the fuck up a little bit, because you're not going to do or go anywhere with the way you're acting or talking or the people that you talk with. So love me, hate me, support me, don't support me. I really don't give a fuck, because someone like you who watches my videos or whatever it is, I honestly feel not responsible, but a little bit of disappointment that someone watches my videos that acts like you and talks like you and associates with people that you're playing with. So yeah, that's the end of the VOD. It's a little bit of a different one than my other ones. You know, as I said, it's not always just about in-game or whatever it is. It's also about just being a better person in general, and owning up to your responsibilities in real life just as much as you do in-game. So that is going to be the end of the VOD. If you guys enjoyed or learned anything new, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. But other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your guys' support. As I said at the beginning of the video, half of you guys aren't subscribed, so make sure you guys do that if you haven't already. And also, I want to mention that I'm doing coaching. There's a link to that down below, as well as a link to my second channel, and a link to the Wichita Wolves, which just came out with some merch. You can use code MAYO to save 10% off your purchase. So all those links to my social media, all that good stuff, are down below in the description. Sorry for a little bit of a different VOD, but I just had to get that off my chest because I was really contemplating not even doing this VOD. But I think this was a good decision that I made to kind of use this dumbass as an example for the people out there who maybe make the same mistakes or are close to them. So either way, I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And to the viewer himself, you know, I hope you learned something from this VOD as well, and also